Bay Buccaneers roster outlook, and at the end of the video I will be giving a season prediction. Alright, we are starting off with Tom Brady, Mr. 7-time Super Bowl champion himself. Very good. Okay, yes. So Tom Brady's had a lot of doubters throughout his lifetime. It's it's nothing new for him. He's a veteran at overcoming doubt. I think he's going to do it again, and he is probably playing with the best team he has ever played with. I think Tampa Bay will have an all-time team, meaning this team will be remembered as one of the great teams of all time. At least, maybe not over the course of, but what they accomplish over the next 2 to 3 years, I think, is going to be astronomical. And you have the backup in Kyle Trask, the second-round draft pick. He's just here to back up Tom Brady and learn and provide a future. I don't even know if he's the future quarterback. Played for the Florida Gators, but he is an option for the future. So they're thinking, when Tom Brady does finally hang up the cleats, let's at least take a look at Kyle Trask. And that's as far as it goes. Tom Brady's going to be your starter, no question about it. Then you go to the running back core. This group is loaded. Ronald Jones, you all know what he can do. He's added some size. He's added some power. He always had some speed. Giovanni Bernard, the underrated back from Cincinnati. Cincinnati has had a horrible offensive line for a number of years. Giovanni Bernard, even with a horrible offensive line, has been a consistent, not dominant, but consistent production running back, both in the running game, receiving game. He is quick, he is fast, he's elusive, he's good vision. In the year he came out, he was the best running back in that particular draft class. He was a second-round pick out of North Carolina. Then you have Leonard Fournette, a former first-round draft pick out of LSU. Really, honestly, he should take over this group. His second year with Tampa Bay, if Leonard Fournette plays Leonard Fournette football, he could absolutely become his old dominant self. The only problem with that is this running back core is loaded. Keyshawn Vaughn, a rookie last year out of Vanderbilt. And yeah, he very strong on the inside, has the speed to get outside. Showed a little bit of, potential as a rookie, but, there's some things to still improve on. But he's a rookie. That's the whole point. He's going to come back a lot better. And but make no mistake about it, you're not depending on a Keyshawn Vaughn for your production. You've got Leonard Fournette, you've got Giovanni Bernard, you've got Ronald Jones. Yeah, all three of these guys are all capable starting running backs in this league, without question. We'll go to the wide receiver group. You maintained all your wide receivers. You maintained just about your whole team. And then, went to the draft. Mike Evans, you all know about him. He could, honestly, you put Mike Evans on even an average quarterback team, average offensive line team. This guy still has the capability to make a Pro Bowl, help his team win, make plays down the field. He's the Mr. Do-It-All wide receiver. He's not the best wide receiver in the league, but it's not to say he couldn't still become that. Only 27 years old. He is still developing. He'll develop all the way until he's 29 years old. I don't think he's peaked out because he hasn't always had the best of teams around him. And a lot of times when you have dynamic players on teams that were still developing, they develop into the later years if they survive, if they don't get too beat up in the years with developing teams. Chris Godwin, one of the best slot receivers in the league, if not the best slot receiver in the league, along with the returning Antonio Brown. And don't make any mistake about it. Yeah, he's getting up there in age, but honestly, I just like Leonard Fournette, I think he's going to come back a lot better. He's going to be a lot more familiar with his surroundings. He's going to know the expectation day one. He knows all the coaches. He knows his teammates. Same thing with Antonio Brown. He could come in and play at a much higher level than what we see him play last year. He could start. I'm not saying old Antonio Brown, but I'm saying much better than what he played last year. Scotty Miller, an explosive slot receiver, come off the bench and help out. And here's a guy I really like, Jalen Darden from North Texas. He makes making people miss a habit, or like he says, to quote Jalen Darden, he literally says, making people miss is like brushing your teeth. You got to do it every day. So, yes, Jalen Darden, an exceptional athlete, over 2,500 yards receiving in college. Very good late draft pick. Tyler Johnson played well. Jaden Mixon's played well. You know, you've got some depth at wide receiver. No question about it. You've got Gronk coming back. Mr. Cameron Brate, absolutely. Brate being a very consistent performer in the red zone and helping getting third downs as well. You've got Donovan Smith, just got a contract extension. I think he could play a lot better. I think they gave him the contract extension because of the Super Bowl. I really do. I thought Donovan didn't have his best year last year, but as the offensive line as a group got better as the season went along, let's see what Donovan does coming into this coming year, and I think that's what they want to see. A strong offensive line all the way across the board. Except left tackle. You know, Alex Kappa, he just seems like he's going to be one of them players where he gets a little bit better every single year. He's still a young player. Last year was his second year, coming into his third. Then you have the first-round draft pick from last year, Tristan Wirfs. Solid. I thought the kid should have made a Pro Bowl for right tackle. Defensive line, pretty solid. Adonamakan Suh coming back. Vita Vea coming back. Steve McClendon, a reserve, you know, who's gonna make some plays here or there. He's solid as a reserve nose tackle. He's good. There's nothing wrong with Steve McClendon. Vea playing up to Pro Bowl form. I mean, you see him, 6'4", 347 pounds. I mean, he's a monster. And then Shaquille Barrett, he's coming back. Mr. 15 sacks himself. Or was it 19? I lost count. Levante David and Devin White, the first-round draft pick from 2 years ago, runs a 4.440. This guy goes sideline to sideline faster than any linebacker in the NFL. And then you got the draft pick from LSU Minner and KJ Britt. I like this kid. From Auburn, very active, instinctive linebacker. No, he's not a Devin White, but down the line, as the years progress, KJ Britt is somebody who could develop into a solid rotational nickel player, maybe a starter, but we'll see. Time will tell on that one. Jason Pierre-Paul has got a protege, Mr. Joe Tyron, first-round draft pick this year. Sat out the 2020 season due to COVID and still was a first-round draft pick. Mr. Joe Tyron, 6'5", 262, burning off the edge. Yes, I think you got a solid play here, and hopefully Jason Pierre-Paul takes him under the wing and shows him a few things. Either way, he's got a great example to learn from with Jason Pierre-Paul. Joe Tyron has a lot of the similar traits as a Jason Pierre-Paul does. The athleticism, the burst off the edge with the power to separate from blocks. Then Carlton Davis, solid defensive backfield. You're just young in the defensive backfield. Tampa Bay has got a lot of athletes back here. You guys had a great postseason defensively, and all of these guys, whether it was Sean Murphy-Bunting, Jamel Dean, Carlton Davis III, and then another one, Antoine Winfield Jr. I mean, as a free safety, rookie, couldn't play better down the stretch. I thought he had almost the perfect rookie season. And now, mind you, we're talking about a rookie, so any rookie is going to make mistakes, but I thought he played well all the way across the board for a rookie. And then in the postseason, he played beyond that of a rookie. I think his ceiling is very, very high. You have Jordan Whitehead, just a solid, strong safety. But there you have it. Okay, so looking at your roster, your offensive line looks good. You've helped out your quarterback by bringing back all your players, right? You've got Godwin coming back. You've increased your running back depth with Giovanni Bernard. You've got Keyshawn Vaughn coming in. So, into his second year, your offensive line, I think, is going to come in playing at a higher rate from what it did last year. I think you're looking pretty good. I think you're looking at a 13-3 regular season. Okay? I think you're playing some tough teams. I think you're playing Carolina. I think Carolina's going to be a lot better this year. They made some improvements on the offensive line. They've added some defensive players. They're going to be a little tougher. I'm not saying they're going to beat you. I'm not saying they're going to beat the Bucs. I'm just saying there's a lot of teams that are better. But what you don't have is the Saints are not going to be as good without Drew Brees. I'm not saying the Saints won't be good, but they're not going to be the same team without Drew Brees. That's going to be, it's hard to replace Hall of Fame players. It just is. Whether Drew Brees makes the Hall of Fame, we'll have to see. But, at the very least, Drew Brees, with some of the records that he put up and the numbers that he put up in the time frames that he put him up, he is an all-time player. Very hard to replace that. We'll see how that transition goes. Sean Payton, excellent coach. You play in a tough division. A lot of teams in the division got better. Julio Jones just went to Tennessee. So I don't think Atlanta is going to be as good. I don't. Not that Julio Jones is the whole team, but the impact of a Julio Jones is immense. They added Kyle Pitts, who is a stud at the tight end spot, but, strong but. Again, all-time players, you don't replace all-time players. I definitely think that Julio Jones, with the numbers that he's put up, more than 85 yards per game on average, the best of any receiver. So, yeah, I don't think they're replacing Julio Jones anytime soon. He's an all-time caliber receiver, and even if Kyle Pitts is dynamic, that's great for Kyle Pitts, but Atlanta, I don't think this year will be quite as good. So with that being said, I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, all in all, will go 13-3, win the postseason. You're going to the Super Bowl. And I think the Tampa Bay Buccaneers come out winners again because you're going to have more continuity. You're bringing everybody back. You've added to your roster with a very smart draft. And I think Antonio Brown's going to be better. I think Fournette's going to be better. I think the whole team is just going to be very, very focused very, very early. This team was focused on the next Super Bowl as soon as they won the last one. I mean, this is immense. So they're already focused on the next Super Bowl, and I think they win another one. Well, you've got my season prediction at 13-3. You'll win the playoffs and the Super Bowl. Thank you for watching. Thank you for subscribing. If you haven't subscribed already, please do. and I'll see you on the next roster outlook. Have a great day, everyone.